Hello, my name is Paul Chandy, the teacher that talks the truth from Tri-T, coaching your children to succeed in school and enabling you to succeed in the school of life. That's my introduction for today, because I've emphasized that when your child succeeds, you can also succeed. And when you succeed, your child can succeed. It's a tandem. So, we've talked so many times about encouraging your child to study, the importance of education, hacks, tips, and tools to motivate him to succeed in school. But as I keep saying, you are the best teacher. You are the best example. You are the best coach, and you are the best accountability partner. Education is about growing. And as soon as you hit 18 or 22 after you've graduated, you don't stop and say, right, I'm going to stop reading. I'm going to stop accumulating my skills. I've got my degree, been there, done that. I've got my job, and that's it. If we don't grow, we're stagnating. You could be extremely rich, you could be a multimillionaire, and I assume that even those who are multimillionaires, life becomes boring if they swim in their private pool all day, run around in their private jet, and lead the life of a playboy. Why? Because we need to continue growing, we need to continue educating ourselves, and we need to keep contributing, and that's where the real joy is. So, now back to you, parent. It's on you to keep growing and educating yourself. Because when you grow and educate, there is no better example for your son to follow. And I call it the osmosis effect. He will pick up good habits from you. He'll pick up a good attitude from you. He'll pick up your motivation from you. And when he's feeling down and tired and lazy and has to put in that extra few days of work before the exam, you'll be there to pick him up. And when you are also feeling tired or lazy or demotivated after a hard day's work, and in his case a hard day at school, he'll be there to pick you up. I'll illustrate with an example of Max and his son Jim. Now Max had already 2 children who went to Ivy League universities. One was Oxford. And they were also into sports, rugby, etc. He was a keen rugby player, and he passed that love and enthusiasm down to his children by playing rugby in the backyard and attending all his matches. Now he was an investment banker who made the transition to become a languages teacher. First of all, he did a language-related degree in history. And that's how he grew. And he related to me how his son is now into Oxford, how, when he was doing his teacher training, and his son, studying for his A-levels and his entrance exam into Oxford, would study into the late hours. They had a ritual. First, they would cook pasta by frying all it is a little bit of garlic and tomato paste and a good quality olive oil, and toss the pasta in the olive oil. And so they would start off by eating a good plate of pasta, and then they would study together. Now, as it happened, Massimo became a teacher. He claimed that the teacher training was more intensive than anything he had done, any training he had done for investment banking, and sometimes more intensive than being an investment banker. And his son got into Oxford. What did I tell you? Accountability partners. Well, let's look at it. Bill Gates, Elon Musk. No one can doubt their drive, determination, and work ethic. I would be so arrogant to say that I could match their work effort. But I do know one thing. They were supported by a team. They worked together in for example, they'd be in each other's bedroom or flat, or, in their young days, kind of like living in like basic conditions, eating little, getting by. But that camaraderie and that accountability from their friends helped them grow big companies. Bill Gates and Elon Musk are the face of their companies, but they had good friends or relatives who were there by their side supporting them, helping them. Second thing, a second example. In the school that I worked, there was a cleaner, and she didn't have really any qualifications. Sorry, a dinner lady. She didn't have any qualifications. And then she decided that she's going to advance and become a teaching assistant. It was around the same time her son, who was 15 and 16, was taking his first formal qualifications, GCSE. So she said it was a real incentive for her son to study. And she got a real boost to study for her English and Maths GCSE after working as a dinner lady. And her son was very settled in school, quite studious, and got on to further education. Another example was Jane. Now, she worked at Tesco's as a Tesco's manager. I think she may have had high school education, but not a degree. She decided to study for a degree, and at the same time, her daughter studied for their GCSEs, and they were both very settled daughters. One of them was really studious, but the mother, through her process as studying for a history degree, and then being a teacher assistant at the same school, was able to discover hacks, tricks, talk with the teachers, get inside information to encourage her daughters. And her daughters were a motivation for her. And so in a sense, they were doing it for each other to advance their lives. And finally, there was another dinner lady who became a teacher assistant. And she also studied extra in her free time. And one of her daughters was a top student. So it's funny. Students who are serious themselves usually have a great example. Parents who take study seriously. So I'm the teacher that talks the truth, coaching your children to succeed in school. And I would advise, whatever stage in your career, whatever stage in your wealth, if you're a business owner, if your life is extremely comfortable, then get into uncomfortable action. Set new goals, money goals, growth goals, and study something. Study a course that will enable you to grow. And by doing that, it will be an osmosis effect. You won't even have to give your child a lecture to grow even further and to take his study seriously.